This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, track your imprinted phrases.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good. I'm after morning for me.
I don't care.
There are more time zones. Why not?
It's 10:40 a.m. here.
Did you get a good night's sleep?
Representation matters.
It does. That's why I'm saying multiple time zones, all the great time zones. Yes. I'm going to put it in my bio. I'm going to get... Oh, Merlin, would you say you have a calling or a cause in life?
Yes.
I think, whatever it may be, you should take up the all time zones matter and make a little filter for your bio.
This is some kind of a funny joke for you. My culture is not your costume. And if you would check your privilege, for 1 second, you would understand that I have, maybe this is a new term for you, I have a lived experience that might be different than yours. Or really, this is the part that's the most galling, is that the lived experience that we all have should be exactly the same, which is we act like a person in their 40s who went to college and understands that it's a different time everywhere. But there's some folks who have a pretty tough time with that. Now listen, in the time after Reconstruction, a lot of stuff happened. It was when we got some of our first black people elected to Congress. People were in power in ways that they wouldn't be again until the 60s and 1960s in some cases, But then there was a backlash to that, which eventually then, of course, led to Jim Crow. So
I see.
I'm not exactly saying that I'm like a freed slave. Or as you say, a freedman. Merlin Friedman.
A person,
Merlin Friedman.
It is a person of freedom, I believe.
I made a joke about my name.
I know, but mine was
so
funnier.
difficult. I say that sometimes in my head to people.
Oh, that your joke was funnier?
I'd say it in my head. I say it in my head.
Good for you, because I say it out loud. And I'm usually wrong.
Yeah, that's two differences.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Well, we're on the right track. Here's the thing. Just because of where you were born, just because of how you were born, just because you were surrounded for your entire life by people on the East Coast who cannot be fucked to learn anything about another part of the United States, there are certain privileges that come with that. And those guys like to close ranks, and they are guys, let's be honest. Almost everybody on the East Coast is a guy at heart.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into my political soapbox, okay? But the thing is, to me...
Speak your truth, girlfriend.
Okay.
Go for it.
If you want to take from my culture, my California West Coast culture, for your hipster lingo that you use on MySpace or whatever, that's all fine. That's fine. My experience will continue to be lived, whether someone else approves of it or not. And what I'm saying is, if you're somebody who castigates other people for not completely learning other programming languages from the metal up, then maybe you could eventually get better at understanding whether it's 3 hours forward or 3 hours back.
Oh man, we've really, really listened and learned today.
Do you understand what Greenwich time means?
Honestly, I pretend, but not really. I have to look it up every time.
The bit's running thin, so hi, good morning. I as you know, I keep lists. I keep lists of things. And because I am secretly, privately, somewhat irascible about things like usage, I don't like to make a big deal about it publicly.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean... But I mean usage in the broader sense. I don't mean just grammar and spelling and writing a headline that begins with the phrase "I am" or "this." That's the thing. Is it's a broader problem of usage. I just don't like the way anybody uses anything. But I keep lists, and I have something I really like a lot. I think our family at least tolerates and hopefully appreciates, which is I buy these magnetic whiteboard rolls. If you can imagine, like, I'm sorry, you probably know what I'm talking about. You can buy this stuff. It's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 millimeters thick. It arrives on a roll. You unroll it. It's got magnet.
Oh my God.
The entire back side is magnetized. The entire front side is whiteboard. And so, yeah, you can buy those ones that come with magnets and you stick them up there. But this like fully adheres to the freezer section where a lot of the writing is going to happen. And I love it. And here's another hot tip for you. If, for example, you filled up Daddy's entire shopping list with writing down all the colleges you want to visit on the East Coast, I guess that's important to somebody. It's not going to keep food on the table. Quite the opposite. So what I'll do is I can unmagnet that one and set it to the side, grab a fresh one, put it up.
Oh.
So sometimes I'll be walking around.
Important list.
I should take photos of this just for my own purposes, because it is funny how my family will come home and it'll say something like ice, Keurig pods, avocado oil, ginger. I fucking hate it when people add the word standard to what time it is because they think it sounds longer and fancier. Because I have heard people who are paid to communicate for a living say, it is currently 12:15. It is currently 12:15 Eastern Standard Daylight Time. And I think they do that.
Okay, I've listened and learned because I have heard both sides to
Standard means something, Alex. It doesn't just mean the time has been standardized.
It's
not. It's either daylight time or
it's not.
Or
right?
it's either daylight time or it's standard time. Or I guess potentially it's something else. But saying standard daylight time is like saying sunset, sunrise time. Quickly flow the days.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Seedlings turn overnight to sunflowers, blossoming even as we gaze.
This is it's so important because I am.
Do you understand my shtetl culture is not your costume. And just because I like to play a string instrument on the roof of my shtetl when I'm not hauling milk. Those are your people, Alex. I think, is it Poland or is it Russia?
They were Russian. Yeah, no.
Anatevka, is that what it's called?
Yes.
That'd be a pretty name for a girl, or a they.
It would, yes.
This is my carbon form, Anatevka, and I love them very much.
The first time I saw that movie...
We're having a carbon form. There's a species reveal party.
Well, exactly. Okay. So this is what I'm saying.
I finished my rewatch of the first season of Game of Thrones. I'm watching the whole thing again in order, and I just got.
Why is everyone doing this?
I literally don't care.
In the water?
It's not important to the anecdote. And I will be getting, by the way, it only occurred to me a minute ago, well, when you were 15 minutes late, that I'm going to start having a noise that I make when you bring in a headline, just so you can become more aware of it. Like you spray a cat?
Mm-hmm, yes.
I didn't say spay. Listen, that cat's genitals are not your costume, unless you're very desperate for a furry costume.
I don't think I'm the one wearing the bit out right now. I think I was wearing...
My cat's scrotum is my beard.
I mean, we covered this last week. My cat still has his
This is a new
scrotum.
thing you do. This is your new thing. It's your new thing where you do the Syracuse thing where sometimes all you want to talk about is what happened before rather than what's interesting about what's happening now.
But then I would have to, but then it's a trap. See, it's a trap. I understand. Normally, between
Everything's a
the
trap when you're wrong,
reconcilable
Alex.
differences,
I mean,
it's like, all right.
My trap is not your costume, nor your culture.
Jesus.
And listen, we don't use that word anymore.
Trap.
What do we say now instead of that? We say sex
call
worker.
them chasers.
Oh, chasers. Like a chubby chaser. Is that still a thing?
People don't get mad at me for these jokes, but get mad about using AI.
Why are people mad at you? Why is someone mad at you, Alex? Who's mad at you?
Because I use
It's the people who
computers wrong.
contact you about the program and other things.
Yes.
They send you supportive things somewhere.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely complicated, for sure. I don't know. I guess I could get really obsessed about one issue, but anyways, that was one. But I also will write things down, like, because I putter and I power putter, and they are different. But I'll be doing my chores and walking around. I'm mopping the floor. And
I would love to know this difference. I apologize. Proceed.
Yeah, of course.
Proceed.
Will you write that down? I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Putter versus power putter. Is it an in-app purchase? See, that's not funny. Continue. I'm not funny.
Mm-hmm. It's not that I want you to change. It's that I want you to change and be better.
It's exactly.
You understand? Like just doing something different and going, bah, yelling different thing from brain now.
Yelling I'm not a yeller.
Okay. What did you say 3 sentences ago?
Talker. What did I say 3 sentences ago? I believe it was that I normally.
The thing is that I just did a buffer overrun. Like I know how to make your buffer overflow.
I know, it's so frustrating because most people.
You know what it's called? They call it a they in the middle of the attack. And I feel like I've made that joke before.
No, yeah, yes, you have.
Right.
I should track the they them jokes.
You should do a lot of things.
And the ones who are
you should
good.
do a lot of things, Alex. But it's also funny just to me. I should just go look and see if I can find some funny ones. But because, it's, I've said this before, but and I don't do this as much as I should because I don't want to be a creep, but it's fun to take 360 pictures of your kid's room at various times to be able to look back over time. Because if you look at any old photo, I have this beloved photo of my parents that I love to death. I love everything about this photo. I love my dad's cigarette. I love my mom's cigarette. I love the fact she's fake strangling him. I love that my dad has a 12-ounce steel ass can of old Coca-Cola in front of him. I love every dish,
so cool.
every dish in the sink. It's those are the photos that end up being durable. It's not ones where half the people have their eyes closed and want to go home. It's the ones where you accidentally catch people being themselves, which sounds like candid camera. But I like to take those photos because I'll be rolling around, doing whatnot in the kitchen. That becomes my base of operations. I set up a shoebox and I put my laptop on that so I can move freely because I need to be able to move very quickly when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'll just be doing my thing and walk around. And I also have a 3D printed little ring thing I made so you can have a marker handy right next to where the board is. And I buy those in boxes of 10 or 12. So if I'm having a busy day, I can just leave the marker on the whole time and not worry it's going to dry out. Because I got to move quickly. I think I said that earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Probably listen, and John Syracuse will say something funny, or you'll say something funny, and I'll write down a title, a potential, because I love me a title. I'll go, oh, that was kind of funny. And I'll write that on the whiteboard. And they'll come home and it says something like, for example, ice, Keurig pods, avocado. I fucking hate it when people add standard to the time zone just to try and sound fancy. Ham means 1.
Do they? I had a visceral reaction to ham mean what's 1.
Do you remember that one?
Oh,
that's one of my favorite episodes of the show.
I don't remember what it means other than that ham means 1 and that I used to be able to recite it. Jelly on the right.
Alex, are you talking about a Concord jelly pack? What position is it in? It's in the 6 o'clock position.
I don't remember.
If it's in the 6 o'clock position, that's actually the wait, let me get this right. It's the 3rd position is 6 o'clock.
It's so hard.
One reason I haven't sent you that clock yet is I've been wanting to make a change. I'm probably not going to end up doing it, but I will. What I want to do is make you the exact same clock that I made, except I'm finally going to make for you a decimal clock. and I need to prepare you. You should probably run some kind of Disc Doctor or Symantec product on yourself because this is going to be very upsetting to you. 12 o'clock, or as I like to call the first position, we'll say 0.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. I like it. Go on.
The eastmost cardinal point, which I would call the 2nd position, is normally a 3. But what does it say on your clock? 0.25.
Oh no! Wait, no, that's not how it.
Yeah, it is.
But
where's the quarter of an hour point?
The 5, right? No, that's not how it is. Okay, walked into a trap. So
could you just explain your system to me, and maybe I could that would help me make you a better clock.
Maybe this is why it was 9 minutes late, not 15.
You mean on top of the original 5 or the other 5?
I got distracted.
Or the fact that you were texting me up to 30 seconds before we started and not saving it for the show? Here's a new thing. A new thing we're going to do is sometimes peel back the curtain a little bit. when you're so upset about who sent the link first or whatever, I want to do a new exploration where we talk about what I deal with that's not the thing you're mad about at that time, which is such a nonstop surfeit of things I never want to be handed that you continue to hand me with either no context or worse, your context.
Oh, okay. I was so ready to correct.
I know, but can you see how that's frustrating from my point of view when I'm just trying to conduct my life in Power Putter and whatnot, and then sometimes I'll get a note from you.
But you're moving fast. Why
I gotta be able to. I'm not always moving fast. I gotta be able to move very, very quickly.
I'm sorry that I'm in the kink of the machine.
Ooh, you're in the kink of the machine. I like the sound of that.
Exactly.
Oh, here you go. You're sending me. Let's see. There's Sam Altman tweets. You're sending me. Thank you for that.
That was in the context of
sometimes you respond
why
to what
the
I
model
say.
had changed. Yes, I always respond, except when you said good. Oh, all right. Let's get into this.
Okay, hey, everybody.
I said. I sent you.
Here's when I ask you where you blogged something. I ask you where
I'm never showing you any of that. Okay,
but just to be clear, okay, the curtain has now been torn completely off the rod drayer. Here's how this goes. You go. I don't know. I don't know if you saw what I blogged.
Well, you were saying the same smart things that I said.
Did you want to take this part over?
Yes, I'm going to take this.
No, you're not.
Wait, what? Wait, take this part over.
Part over.
This part over. Okay, I apologize.
So you say, did you see the blog I blogged last?
I whispered into the microphone like this. Yeah, it's quiet.
Yeah, that's effective. It's now you're on to at least 4 or 5 kinds of effective communication. And I says to you, I says, no, I don't think I have. And then you went on to kind of explain something that it sounded like it wasn't really done. But you were writing something and you said on the blog, and I said I thought very, in kind of a nice way, because, you like to promote things. And so I said, and where is that? And then you went, you said something like,
I like to promote certain things.
And you said something like alexcox.golfclub. And I went there, and it's one of those things
it's a
where
link
it's
tree.
Just,
yeah.
What?
It's a link tree.
Link tree.
Yeah.
Is that a blogging engine?
No, it is the standard, and I'll say it. I hate it. It is the easiest way to have people find.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I probably misunderstood what it was because I didn't know what Linktree is.
Yeah,
but I went to your blog. I went to your blog at alexcox.golfclub. And what I see is a page. It's got your little icon on it, and it says Alex Cox makes podcasts, because you just can't get off this Patreon thing. And then there's 5 buttons on there. Now, which one of those is for your blog?
I do not.
Oh, one of them is a Patreon link. Okay.
I do not want to promote my blog.
The other 4, where? Then why did you send me there, Alexandra?
I did not send you there.
I asked you where you put the blog. You blogged a blog.
Yes, and then I lied because I did not want you to go to the blog.
Is Golf Club a TLD? Because that would be pretty sweet.
That would be cool. But you know what? You could also take that over, follow up. You could take .golf club and then change the culture of golf so that you could get a rangefinder and be a rangefinder guy.
Is it a way of saying let it begin with me? Because I feel like that's what I'm saying.
Right. It is.
Yeah, I was very upset by a golf club over the weekend. You don't watch TV. Hello. We're back, and I don't know where to begin. This is one of those shows where I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little bit dramatic, and it's going to sound a little bit like I'm trying to paper over the fact I do not have a lot of product to hand you that I've prepped for this episode, except to say I've been preparing for this episode my whole life. So I think I've already done the challenge. From the earliest things that I could say in life, I think I've done this challenge already. But that's neither here nor there. We got tech stuff to talk about. We've got your blog. Oh, and are you a frequent listener to David Farrier's Flightless Bird?
Yes, I am.
Well, you should definitely, I would say, watch the live Portland show. Because even though you claim to like this show, you were unfamiliar with the way that every single episode begins.
I started from the beginning, and now I know his friend who he calls at the beginning. I'm up to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't know.
Because he calls her in the Cheesecake episode, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know the other guy's name. I call David Farrier the guy who made. I guess
I was taking this nowhere, but now you've taken it less than that. Because if you watch the live show on the YouTube, now they put up their episodes on YouTube, but where they have video, they show video. I think his name's Rob. I forget. But where they're sitting in like a little room together, and you can see David Farrier's amazing new look. This is David Farrier, the guy who did Tickled and other things. He has a great podcast called Flightless Bird. Start with the rabies episode. And
unless you are under the age of 40, start. Oh God.
How many?
No, I'm gonna say it. Unless you're under the age of 40, start with the American Girl doll episode.
Wait. So
Let me be
if
wrong.
you are under an American under, I'm the array
No,
of that.
just if you are.
Who
if
should
you
start
are
with that
under
episode?
the-
Old people or young people? Young people.
Yes.
Oh, because you were
Younger-
around for American Dolls.
Because
Billy had a Rebecca. She was Jewish.
but that's one of the new.
She had
school.
skis. We got her skis. We got a doll skis.
Oh, my doll had a horse. Had a
My doll.
It's still in my.
Who would leave a pony country to go to a non-pony country?
See, I don't know where that save it for the challenge.
I had
don't-
pony.
a
And
Palomino.
they're gorgeous. Beverly?
That's one I have.
Old Chester. Anyway, I had your son. I had Shane. I went to a Bodine's concert. Anyway, but he calls Roosevelt at the beginning of that episode. And so you can actually, they put up a photo of her. And she's so funny because, of course, he's always calling her to like say like, and this week I'm having laser surgery or whatever. Have you ever had that? And she's like, are you recording this? I like that show a lot. I like how David Farrier is. And he talked about, are there any ICE agents here tonight? Which, fair question for David Farrier. That's not a headline. That's a fair question for somebody like David Farrier to ask. If you're an ICE agent, you have to let me smell your dick.
Yes. Well, and I don't know if that's the law, but you at least need to check whether it's
Australia.
not. It's there. Yeah. Or
Spiders.
it's called the Kiwi Code over there.
Well, in New Zealand, you mean? They don't have as many spiders as Queensland. Queensland's where all the deadly animals are.
Okay. No, this is fake news. Fake news. If you go to Australia and spend a month in Australia in all of their major cities, they have gone against they have reformed their image. No insects. There are birds everywhere. They just let them in the buildings.
They got rid of all the insects through public relations?
Yeah, they did. They were like, okay.
How did you see this firsthand?
I spent a month in Australia. Like, I think even before we started this, maybe like 8
Were you in
years
Sydney?
ago.
Where were you?
Yeah, I was in Melbourne for half the time, and then Sydney for most of the rest of the time. No, I did go to the what's it called, the Cairn Islands, and went.
Oh, that's where black people try to barbecue, and then Karen calls the Met. No. Missing out the bobbies.
Oh yeah, I was. I was one of those
word jokes.
I suppose,
word jokes. Everybody hates word jokes.
I was. We need a
Mary.
Mary.
Same word. Karen. Karen is Karen. I'm being cared for in Karen by Karen.
I highly recommend the coral reefs if you can see them before they go away. They're the most beautiful thing in the world other than my spouse.
That's such a nice thing to say. Are you guys fighting?
I hope not. Maybe you have more information than I do.
I don't know. It just seems like you're sucking up a little bit.
It's called going down. There's a difference. Nothing.
What's
David
called that?
Farrier. Nothing.
They have 9-volt batteries there, but they spin the other way. If you know what I mean. They're doing the alphabet or whatever. That's a rookie trick. But everybody should shave.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. No, go.
All right.
I was just gonna randomly quote a song.
Oh.
You know,
too close to the mic.
I don't know. One of my favorite songs of all time is a song called "You Let My Tires Down" by Tropical Fuckstorm. And I can't do it. I can't approximate Gareth's very unique delivery, but I picked her car up from the depot, had my lunch at China Rose, and then I snorted half a gram of Australia's finest homemade Coke. And a child was mauled by bull ants outside the High Point shopping center, while a two-rack tractor benefact bit down on her placenta And then he goes, and I kind of got to sing this part. This is when he starts screaming. He goes, and an army surplus loner come the outskirts of parole, but it's raining in Victoria, so that shit's under control.
Oh.
You let my tires down. You know the video I always post of the people eating spaghetti backwards?
No. I mean, I know what you were referring to, but I don't
and they're
think I
friends
pushed
with the
play.
Giz. Did you know that they've done songs together? Them and the Giz.
The lizard. Maybe is
they have a
the
song called
Lizard
Satanic Pajama Party, and it's a tropical fuckstorm song. But it also has the guys from King Gizzard and the Lizard. And before that, Gareth was in another band, and he wrote a very lovely song about his recently deceased mother. They're very talented people. They live on a farm, and if you watch that live video of them, you can see dogs wandering around while they play loud rock music. You guys should check out Tropical Fuckstorm. They're really good. They're on Tropical Fuckstorm Records.
I'm really worried this is going to become my new Not Too Soon, because
oh my god, I love that song. Why'd you do that? Right now, for me, right now it's Jeff Rosenstock, or I listened to Jeff Rosenstock in like late last week, early over the weekend, and I still have 3 different songs of his in my head.
He has a wonderful cover.
Fucking all the time. Oh, he did a really good cover of something. It wasn't New Order. He does or Guided by Voices. What's his really good cover? I'm trying to remember.
I was thinking of Not Too Soon, but he's done a whole
Oh, that's the one.
bunch.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. That was totally accidental.
I listen to
Alex,
this.
did you know how brilliant you are? That I didn't make that connection and you did?
Oh, look at, see, I'm already moving on up. I'm changing in the right direction.
I'm the one who stays home and does the dishes. You like him, right?
Oh, yes.
And do you like his other band? Do you know his other Amerigo Vespucci, his little side project with the dude?
Yes, with Chris, what's his name?
Are they from Chicago?
No. No, they are from, you're confusing that with Naples, Florida.
I'm not
another
confusing
place
anybody. That's where your grandparents live. Tell them I said hi.
Yep, I'm from Naples, Florida. Florida.
Jeff Rosenstock?
No, Fake Problems guy. Chris.
Throwing Muses. They're from Boston. Don't throw your muse.
Fake.
Especially if it's the one at the end.
What if they're into it though? You know? What if like the Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, exactly. Like
what if the Wolf of Wall Street?
You know, at the beginning of Wolf of Wall Street, they're throwing little people, and it's a very problematic conversation. But then,
you think that's worse than shaving that lady's head and making her cry?
No, no. That's what I'm saying. These people.
Margot Robbie's in that movie.
Yeah, I always forget every time, and then I am thrilled.
She's the opposite of Adam Smith, or Adam Scott. Adam Smith, I think, was an economist. She's the opposite of Adam Scott in The Aviator, where I will never forget that she's in that movie. My goodness me. And she's very funny on Graham Norton, which is all I watch now. All you listen to is the Mountain Goats, and all I watch is Graham Norton compilations. I watched 3 or 4 really good ones today. How are you doing? You sound good.
I'm doing very well. Chris Farron is the name of the lead man of Fake Problems, and also Vince.
Oh yeah. Okay, hang on. Is he in that like I eat ramen scene? Is he in that like that fucking like I'm bald and have a funny hat emo scene?
Adjacent to, but
Fueled by Ramen. Am I close?
Fueled by Ramen.
Isn't there like an emo Florida thing that I don't know about?
No. There was an emo, there was a punk scene.
Is that Fall Out Boy I'm thinking of? Who's the guy with the hat? I like that one song with the kid has antlers. I like that song.
Yes. Fall Out Boy started Fueled by Ramen.
Sugar, we're going down. Sugar, we're going down.
Yeah. I'll be your number one with a bullet.
That's such a good song.
A loading God complex, cock and pull.
Colorblind,
I'm like, that's so
tired
good.
eyes. She never knew him, likes it that way. She just a walker, won't you ever stop walking away?
I've already listened to this 5 times today.
What the cover? The cover of the original?
The original. Because
Alex, I can't listen to it fewer than like 11 times.
Well, it was just.
I love I love every frame of the video. I love like I've talked about this song too much, but the more time I spend with this song, the more nooks and crannies I find in it. It is I've used this phrase that a lot of people use who enjoy pop music. Is sometimes you'll hear a song like "Hey Ya," for example, and I think it's fair to say that "Hey Ya" is made almost completely of hooks, which is to me the nicest thing you could say, and they all work. That like every note in that song is a load-bearing wall, and every note of "Hey Ya," if you go back and listen to it, it's gonna blow your mind how many different incredibly memorable parts there are on that song that like every note and word of probably. Oh, you lose. But I feel that way about Not Too Soon, except it's weird. And I think, oh my God, this song can't get any better. And then they do that build up right before the breakdown. The last time I saw her, she does that. She sings that kind of like Phil Spector part. Last time I saw him,
she just talks and it's perfect.
I watched you fall apart. And then the music and the video comes together so well. And you hear he starts doing that thing on the toms to like do the intro to "It Makes My Stomach Turn." I know her. Oh my fucking God. What a perfect song. I'm so glad you like that song, Alex.
I was wrong in my prediction that would be your next post on your blog. I thought you were going to break down why it's a perfect song.
I've been capturing ideas for things like that. That's a really good, I got to start writing these things down. I got a really nice suggestion that really means a lot to me anyway. Where somebody asked if I'd ever made a list of, because I like making lists, a list of music documentaries. And I was like, that would be fun and not that hard because I like a lot of music documentaries.
Okay. That would be incredibly hard for most people, which is why you are made for this, because so many of them are bad. And then I feel bad after watching them. Yeah. Huh. I mean, well, think of all of the music documentaries you've seen, and all of the ones that are just like media. Exactly, because you've forgotten the ones that are like
generic kind of rote.
Yeah. But then you find a treasure in there, and that is just
my favorite music documentary and a contender for my favorite documentary. Honestly, just the most watchable. I'll watch it. I confessed last night on the internet that my favorite TV show is The Leftovers, but my actual favorite TV show is Game of Thrones. I'm still kind of working out exactly what that means, but I think you all know what that means. Which is, God. I love The Leftovers. Was I think probably the best TV show. At least my favorite TV show in many ways. But like, I will just watch 6 episodes of Game of Thrones in a night, as I did last night. Well, I just got up to Walder Frey. They just introduced Walder Frey. You can have any one of his daughters that you want.
No. Oh, God.
Syria Farrell just died, and that kind of broke my heart.
Oh, spoilers! Spoilers.
And when the devil says, "What do we say? What do we say to the devil? What do we say?"
Not to the God of Death. Isn't it? What do we say? Not today.
We say not too soon.
All right.
I'm in a great mood, and I still have a million other things that we could talk about. We have a show that we do after this show, an episode after the episode. And listen, here's the thing. A blog is a publication, and a post is a child of that blog. A post is not a blog. A house is not a home. You understand?
Yes, but that's a terrible analogy.
No. I was quoting an old song quoting an old Burt Bacharach, Hal David song.
I know, but you could you can't have a home in a house. Oh, fuck. No, yes,
you ever heard the song Wives and Lovers
by
Bacharach and David? You ever heard that?
No, but
should always be lovers too. It's basically a song it's a very Rolling Stones kind of song, or a very Kinks kind of song. Who's another misogynistic band? The Eagles. It was a very Eagles kind of song about like just chastising women because they aren't fuckable enough.
Yeah.
Wives. Now that's not Bacharach. That's David. So blame him. He's the Bernie Taupin of that operation. Not a present for your friends to open. This boy's young singing the blues. Every time I sing that out loud, I get some part of it just slightly wrong, and without even looking at it, my child corrects me, which is both fucking incredible and terrifying. My kid,
that's upsetting.
Because I know almost all the words to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. You can tell it because that used to be my Twitter bio. My Twitter bio used to be, I know almost all the words to Yellow Brick Road. Right? But the thing is, my kid, fucked up, man. Bernie Taupin. I think Bernie Taupin does not get enough. I think Bernie Taupin does not get enough credit. I think the lyrics are some of the best stuff about the early Elton John songs.
I'm still caught up in the lyrics. Has he entered the manosphere? Like that's some like 4
can we talk about? Before we do the challenge, can we just talk about misogynistic lyrics?
I would
It's been on my
love to,
mind
yes.
lately. Okay, so are we talking about? Talking here about? Wait, what are we talking about? Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yes.
I mean, like, you've heard that song 10 million times. This is one of those things that's made me so popular with everyone, is having a topic that is completely inscrutable to normal people and annoyingly under complete or correct to people who used to care. This is where I live. Goodbye. I just have, not always, especially in the last few years. Hey, you ever listen to, not Song Exploder, but Strong Songs? You listen to that, Kirk Hamilton?
Yes.
I have his shirt. It's one of those shitty
Underrated shirts.
T-Public shirts. But I have his Thistle Thump Sizzle shirt. I don't even wear it because it's almost as bad as my Election Profit Maker shirt. You know, I love that program, but the shirt's shit.
I know, it was very sad.
Yeah. Also, Syracuse's Hypercritical shirt is not comfortable to me.
No, that's going to be my first my post. I don't know if we talked about that is going to be my first.
On your blog?
No, my post-top surgery T-shirt is going to be my hypercritical shirt because I can't wear it since the material is 100%.
Because right now it rubs on your titties?
Well, because it will stretch out, and he only does them every 8 years, so I can't wear it. Oh my God, he's so transphobic. Oh my God, look
Holy
at
shit!
I'm
You know the thing is that guy talks a big game, but a lot of what Syracuse, I mean, like, yeah. Oh, I think he's bad.
Mm-hmm. I do.
When are you going to come down? No, I hear this as now. Bernie Taupin's a straight guy. You know, Bernie Taupin's, I think Tiny Dancer is about his girlfriend and maybe later wife.
Oh.
Tony Danza. When are you going to come down? When are you going to land? The first verse is good, but it gets better. I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. But listen to how beautifully these unusual lyrics, the enjambment with the tune and the rhythm. I know you can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up for you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. And then here's the chorus of the hit song, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow. Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny-backed toad. Oh, I finally decided my future lies beyond the Yellow Brick Road. Isn't that a hell of a lyric?
That is a Cynthia Erivo cover waiting to happen.
What do you think you'll do then? I bet they shot down the plane. I'll take you a couple of vodka and tonics to set you on your feet again. Maybe you'll get a replacement. Oh, this is so beautiful. Maybe you'll get a replacement. There's plenty like me to be found. Mongrels who ain't got a penny, sniffing for tidbits like you on the ground. And then it goes into full-on Beatles mode.
Oh, save it for your oeuvre. That's another great, I think, compilation of Merlin singing on podcasts.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
Wait, why are you sorry? What are you apologizing for?
I can't sing, but I like to anyway. You should have heard me. I was having a grunge night on, not grunge, but anyway, if anybody listens to Roderick on the Line, we were talking about music on Monday, and then I made a 45 video playlist that night. Before then writing something and going to bed at 2 a.m. But they refilled my prescription. Now, by the way, I'm suffering from the shortage. You know how everybody on Adderall is always like suffering from the shortage?
Yeah.
They finally come for Vyvanse.
Oh, really? Oh, that genuinely really sucks. Fuck.
He visited the Pope briefly, J.D. Vyvanse.
Oh, he did indeed. That's how, the way I found out that the Pope died.
To quote my 3-year-old child, that's not funny. That's not even a joke.
He's a smart kid, but that's one of the smart.
Alex.
Yes.
Segue.
Yes. Segue. Scoot. All right, go on.
No. Sorry, challenge, because of course, as soon as I say something that I realize is not funny, the thing that I hear and then want to say is, I'm not doing the voice. We don't do the voice anymore. That's not funny. That's not even a joke. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that count?
Yes.
And what's your phrase for this?
Oh, I have
Imprinted,
I have
no, would you call it
multiple.
imprint? No, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I'm about to hit the,
Okay.
I'm about, my
3,
goodness.
2,
Have you ever done a
1.
you and Syracuse should do a podcast together. I would definitely not listen to that. But it would keep you guys both in the same place, and I know where you are. It's kind of like when you got a rat in the house and you just kind of want to know where it is. You can't get rid of it.
I came on your show.
Don't come on me
Reconcilable
anywhere.
Difference. Like I did not you on the show.
You can't hold me forever.
On the show. The Relay FM membership special for I don't know, a couple years ago on Rectifs. Why hasn't Syracuse come to my house? Why hasn't he visited with us? Is it because
Syracuse
of his
hasn't come
transphobic
since he was
shirts?
sleeping on a mat.
Oh no!
Here's
I
the
didn't
thing
wanna-
that's important to know. Importantly, challenge. And this, let's work on this a little bit. We'll workshop this. What was it? Did we have an original? Let me go to the sheet and find the original name for this. Because why do we talk about what it's called? Because I think ultimately sometimes the way it's worded, even though the challenge doesn't matter and it's a MacGuffin for the program.
This became part of the challenge for me. Yesterday, you asked what was the challenge. I said track your imprinted phrases.
Track imprinted phrases.
Yes. And before I called them cultural tics because it's like you just are reacting to a piece of pop culture, not necessarily even quoting it, just saying part of it or doing something. Like some people do, this is a terrible example, but snapping in a Z formation is the thing people still do in 2025.
That sounds cool. What does that mean?
I don't know.
No, is it like the 3 axes? What is the Z? It sounds cool. What does it mean?
I do not know.
I'm sorry, I've never heard that. I've never, that phrase that you referred to as being culturally relevant, I'd never heard it. So I'm asking you what it means. And it sounds like you don't know either.
And I do not.
And when did people say snapping into a Z formation? When did they say that?
They literally, maybe it's part of a song. They say that and do that.
So,
kind of like,
I'm sorry, let me try one more time. Because I know you don't have your clock in front of you. Are people doing that now? Is that a current thing? Oh, I see.
People
well, if I had a
still-
noise, then I would indicate you just pulled in a headline for no reason.
That's not a headline. I'm saying people I know in my life who are
roast beef, yes,
make
sir.
references. It's just I know that it's roast beef. It's just not interesting.
Technically, it's named after the people who started it, but it also means roast beef.
All right. The reason
Mr. and Mrs.
cultural
Arby.
tics.
MXRB.
The reason cultural tics.
Do you say mix? What do you say? When somebody's an MX, what do you say?
What's
that?
Oh, a mix or mixes. I thought mixes was
Arby's.
good, and
Mixes
it got
Arby.
shut down. Mixes.
Who? What?
I didn't know that
So Mix-a-lot?
Madame and Monsieur was like MMS or MSSM. You know, like
Talking
when
about the plural of the French honorifics?
the
Title.
the shortening. What's it called when you shorten an honorific? The like Mr. and
abbreviation?
Mrs. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I thought there was a fancier name.
No. Le abbreviation. No. Sorry, that's my impersonation of every French teacher. No. Le fax. What do they call a fax machine in Paris, Mr. Hickson? Le fax. How do you say my nails are salon perfect, Mr. Hickson? Mes ongles sont parfaits du salon. My nails are perfect as though I have just come from the salon. That's really catchy, Mr. Hickson.
No, it was so.
Did I tell you we wore jump? Did I ever tell you about the jumpsuits? Did I ever tell you about the jumpsuits?
I don't think so.
My 2 housemates and 2 best friends that I live with, Michael and Dan, we lived together over on Iroquois, and one time we went to Costco. One of my early trips to Costco, and they had those big. Some people call them like a boiler suit. I think of it as like a fishing jumpsuit, but like a big onesie that a man wears. Like you kind of look like a janitor or a mechanic, and kind of like a fisherman. You know those all-in-one suits you button up and you step into.
Oh yes, it's many bands wear them. I
They wear them a lot
Yes.
in King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh,
They'll wear one of those and some Blundstones, and and Bob's literally
Seems
your
a
uncle.
Yeah, they're very practical, it seems.
So what we did was we got a big box of nachos, probably got some other things, and each one of us bought one of those suits in a different color. So Michael and Dan and Merlin each had a fishing suit, one in blue, one in green, one in navy, one in light blue, like one in green. And we just started, because we had a class together with Professor Jeffrey Hickson, which was 19th century French literature. One of my all-time favorite classes. And we would just roll up into E building 2 minutes late for class. And all three of us would roll in wearing our fishing suits and just sit down like everything was fine.
Wait, is this college or high school?
College.
That's one of the gayest things I've ever heard. You were not openly mocked by
whom?
everyone.
By our homosexual
By both
teacher?
your teacher. Yes. Him especially.
He was a good
like,
sport,
no.
especially for a gay.
No.
He was a very good sport. But then the thing is, we decided to mix it up a little bit. And this is like whatever, a 14-week class. But, we started mixing it up. And sometimes we'd arrive at different times. But, the bit was funny enough the first time, I thought. And then the next Tuesday or whatever, we did it again. Michael, Dan, and Merlin roll up wearing fishing suits for absolutely no reason. And that means the third time was annoying and funny. Fourth time, we swapped suits and wore a different colored suit. And then, while Dan and I were slightly drifting off the bit in a way that kind of broke the bit, Michael, one of the most influential people in my whole life, Michael leaned into it. And he started having fun with it and making it very, very flamboyant. And it ended probably the last or second to the last class of the semester. Michael walked in his underpants, wearing oversized orange sunglasses, with his hair done up, and he had just tied the sleeves of the fishing suit around his neck and worn it like a cape.
All right, now I approve. I thought this was just going to be like a Family Guy method.
It's a two-note bit. It's very catchy.
It's
got thesis. It's got thesis, and it's got antithesis. No synthesis.
Regular
Sorry, Hegel.
Lampoon article. Oh,
New phone.
man.
Who dis, Hegel?
This-
It's always three things with him. Challenge this week is to track imprinted phrases, and
Yes.
my quick version of that is you kind of framed it understandably as like almost like catchphrases, right? The kind of things where you said from culture and stuff, but like things you find yourself thinking or find yourself saying somewhat automatically in a given situation, kind of.
Yeah, like
So when I say something that is not only not that funny, even for me, but it lacks even the most basic structure of what could be considered formal humor, of course, the thought that comes into my head is my baby saying, "That's not funny. That's not even a joke." Now, can I not say it? I mean, ideally, but I did one yesterday. I'm going to do the voice only just a little bit. Billy, did I sing in the prom picture? Yeah, I did, right?
Oh, yes, and a spatial one.
Oh, did it work? Were you able to see it?
You're going to be sobbing.
That's the first one. That's the first one I've ever taken. We understand. So my kids dressed to go to the prom, and of course they don't even invite me to the important meetings anymore. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, because I'm just friction. That's fine. I do the dishes. Again with the Jeff Rosenstock. I have maybe 40 seconds to get every photo I ever want to take of this entire event. And on top of it all, so I'd been ready. So I had my camera ready. And I said, I've never done one of those spatial things. And I bet it's one of those things where you're like, God, why did I only start doing this at this point? Because it's the future, maybe. And so I got that very, very, very short video. And then I think 4 other photos of him alone and then the dyads of a parent and a child. And he's like officially, I'll send you a photo. He's officially taller than Madeline now. Faux show.
Oh my.
He had the prom. He had the prom. He's in the middle of testing right now. He's been studying for a bunch of AP tests. And so I had gone in. He got home. He got early release yesterday, pardon my saying, because it was a testing day. And I was power puttering and watching Graham Norton. And I was saying, hey, you're still doing chemistry, right? I want him to come in and watch Harry Potter on Graham Norton singing the Tom Lehrer song about the elements. Because I used to have a mnemonic for the elements when I was a kid. Apparently the Tom Lehrer one is really good. And Harry Potter can just do it, like every verse. Of there's da 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 da. You know, it's kind of like a patter song, but it's all the like I learned. Hi Herman Lilybet Bob I can't get beyond nitrogen. But anyway, I want to call him in to see that.
I scrubbed it from my brain right after I took the AP test because
I did this. I did a little gentle like I do like, and it's almost always like, you know, yeah, come in, and he's like, eh. I open the door, the lights are off. Oh my God, it's only like the fourth time in this kid's sensate life that he's like decided to take a nap, and I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I can't sleep anyway. I said, yeah, it's too boring. And he was sweet enough to not say anything. Now, why is that funny? Because our sweet little kid would wake up or not want to go to bed, but you know, I don't know. I've wondered lately if it could be that like he just has a mind that moves pretty fast, you know. And for people like that, sometimes it's difficult to go to sleep. Or our poor little baby in the little jammies, the little Hannah Anderson onesie would come out and go, I'm gonna do the voice. I can't sweep. It's too bowing. And all we could do not to just go. I can't sleep. It's too boring. Because it's like the apotheosis of little kid tiredness.
But also, it's true. I still maintain it's true.
It is.
But...
it can be too boring. Do you find that difficult? Do you find?
Yes.
And because your mind is like, hey, this is not the time to relax. Here's a hot tip for everybody. When you struggle with sleep or when you want to get better at sleep, I give my mom this advice also about procrastination. You need to remove rather than add danger. Dr. Neil Fiore, the well-known hypnotist and author of The Now Habit, he changed my life by helping me understand that procrastination is not about moral failings, it's about fear. I says to my mom, if you had to walk across a 4-inch balance beam that was like on your living room floor, it might be difficult, but you could probably do it, you know, asterisk. But I said, you know, if that 4-inch wide beam were between two very tall buildings, it's a different thing. It's not, but it is, even accounting for wind. You know, there's the guy that climbed the tower. La Petite, I think his name was. Or it might be Lepetamain. I think that's the guy who farted songs. Look it up. But no. But and so the thing is, we can't sleep because we don't feel safe. You know why you can't sleep? You, whomever, listener, you know why you can't sleep? You don't know it yet, but it's because you don't feel safe. And so I think our mind, if one's mind can be very active and unintentionally, usually almost always unintentionally, is sending you the signal, it is absolutely not safe for you to be, you know, the deer that lays down by the pond right now or whatever. You know what I mean? It's too boring.
Yeah, I'm always trying to get
do you still struggle with that?
I'm much better than I used to be.
Is it less of a catastrophe, at least, than it used to be?
Yes. Especially, like, you'll notice I did not respond when you sent me a very good thing you wrote at 4:45 a.m.
Oh, I assume you have D&D on.
No, I do.
I wrote this thing, and it seemed like if you actually read it, that it might be kind of up your alley too.
3 times, yes, but I did not.
My style is too purple, but I enjoy it, and so that's how it's going to be. I like the way I write.
Too purple? No.
There are ways to put it more plainly, but that's not the point. Like I said to John Roderick on Monday, would your approach to something change if you didn't think of it as a product and thought of it instead as a process? And I think that's accidentally some very good advice about life. If you're not having success in life creating a product, by which I mean, in his case, a hit album, like, wow, that's a pretty tall order. Instead, like, what's your process for doing whatever comes next rather than what you think the product is? The product, as the Minutemen say. Isn't that interesting? Product versus process. Doesn't that seem smart that I would say that to John?
I don't know. No, sounds too purple.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, I was rereading it because, like, and I think I finally put this on the About page, but I'm not sure. I have no compunction at all about changing anything I've written if I can change it. If I notice an error, I try to fix it. If I notice I unintentionally used an unusual word twice, fuck you, Syracusa, I'll go back and fix that. So, like, I had unintentionally used the phrase weird hillock of maths twice. And it's funnier if you use it only once. Instead, I think I called it a robot in the sky.
I only noticed. Well, I feel like.
Oh no, because I keep fixing it. I'm always fixing. I'll find. Oh, I accidentally missed a preposition there, or something like that. Or like, I'm still going to retake the photo of Spencer the train because I don't like that photo. It was 2 a.m. But you know what I mean? Like, I think if you can improve, I don't know. I mean, I'm not writing for history. I'm writing for now.
I think it could be.
Did you write that down? That's pretty good.
Yeah, writing for
why
history
no porque los dos, like Casey says. Why no porque los dos? I'm loving. By the way, I just want to say I don't personally like these people, but I'm really enjoying Marco's, broadly put, restaurant journey. Are you following it?
I am.
It's pretty good.
It makes me so happy.
And his restaurant tech MVPs was really amusing.
Oh my God. How
close are you to looking into Ubiquity at this point? I know I am. The only thing that stops me from even looking it up right now is it sounds like they're going to talk about Ubiquity, not the Ubiquity of 5 years ago, but Ubiquity of now. They're going to be talking about it. And Casey's really looking at it, and I'm going to let him draw the fire for that.
Exactly. Like, I ran multiple Ubiquity and Unify networks. Yeah, and at an offsite theater, and so there were 3 different buildings that I was
really
running.
Smart system. It reminds me of Tailscale,
really
where it seems like everybody's really thought about how you would actually use this and what and why you would want to change and how you expose that to people who would want to change it. Like, it's not. I don't want to say it's not complicated, but hey, Apple.
Well, here's the thing, though. They've also thought about what dingalings who are in over their heads will get wrong about it or be confused about. So when you call them for support, yes. So when I'm like, hey, listen, I'm at this one location and I can't see why it looks like all of the phones are at my office, but really they're all here at the restaurant. What is happening? And they're like, oh, one of your IP numbers are just like fucked up. Like, they knew exactly what I had done wrong, and it was just amazing. And that rarely happened because it's.
I think that even came up.
Well
I might be getting this wrong, but I think that even came up kind of. Well, because Casey was talking about, what was he? He was being cheap and bitching about something recently. But
that's my bit. That's
hating Casey.
And being cheap, bitching, and hating Casey.
I don't think it costs that much more to get Synology drives, but I'm not familiar with.
No,
the show.
It does. I looked into it, and then I got grumpy.
Okay, but like a lot more considering, or just more than like what a WD Red costs on its own. I haven't looked into it. I'm using shaggy ass busted drives on mine. I'm using just WD.
Same. Yeah.
Mine are all like WD Red mostly.
Like one of mine is black for because
just like your
representation
friends.
Matters.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You rotate them in and out.
I did.
like winter clothes. Today you should be my black.
No one gets mad about these jokes. How? Okay.
Why are people mad, Alex? Why are some being mad? We're making jokes. We're making people happy. That's sad.
Oh no, it's but if I make jokes about computers, then But
who would be mad about that? Only somebody who's deeply broken inside.
I know, and it makes me
man.
sad. Yeah, that's something that
Yeah, I know. I'm bummed. I'm bummed for people.
Really,
I think a lot of it's really tough for a lot of people. I've contacted some of my pals about that who, tough. It's tough. Like I said to Roderick, look, it's a troubled organization, but you could do a lot worse than that guy. I'm sorry to have to damn with faint praise once again. I'm in that sweet spot between nobody cares and fuck you title. But there's still a lot to figure out, but like, I think he's better than a lot of those people that it could be. Did you ever see Conclave?
Yeah.
That's Conclave.
It's this is a big That is another.
Actually, look at that. There's white smoke. What happened? There's a new gender bending secret pope. What? Oh, it's hard to explain, but there's a murder mystery. There's a murder mystery.
I just had a weird.
That ending, Billy and I, it took me 3 times to finish that movie. It took Billy 2 times. We finally got to the end. There's way too much marble in that movie. We got to the end. We finally got it. We both looked at, this is now becoming a bit, but we looked at each other and went, what?
It's
like,
not
that's he's a secret cardinal. He's a secret cardinal. He's more like a
intersex. He's secretly Yeah, he's got a
You know who
secret
loves
uterus.
subtlety like that is the Catholic Church.
Yes.
So he's kind of like a Jamie Lee Curtis type situation.
Listen, it was.
I'm listening very closely.
It was speculative. That is
Speculative fiction.
No, right now my hope for the Pope is a bit of some speculative nonfiction. There's a number of candidates.
Are you following the Pope race on the betting markets?
Oh, absolutely. I'm following the betting markets.
I just learned there's a betting market for popes, and it makes me happy.
Yes,
that makes more money than bingo. I don't care how many cards you give them.
The fucked up thing about
Conclave.
the church, right? That's Conclave.
Do you think he'd get approved by Conclave, the secret cardinal, with his specialness?
Yeah,
because that seems to break.
Sorry, actually, Conclave, no.
Well, because and now I can reveal the source of this that most of you know, but given that I no longer care about spoilers, because if you care, you would have seen it already, especially this week. If you care about Conclave and haven't seen it before this week, and you haven't watched it this week, what are you saving it for? Prison? Anyways, you ever seen CGP Gray's video on how to become the Pope?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
And what are the 3 things? There's 3 things that you need to be the Pope. You've got to be Catholic, you've got to be something, and you've got to be a man, a priest, I guess. And you've got to be
Catholic cardinal under 80. And
the third one is you have to be a man.
That has been it's you have to be a cardinal. Not which it is. You have to be a man.
The red ones are men.
Yes,
the more dark-colored ones are females. I get this with my finches. My finches, the male finches, have all kinds of very color. Now, as far as cardinal directions go, if it was 3:15 p.m., that would actually be 3.25, or as they say in the Vatican, a 3.25. That's
I'm just saying, it's not like
because I made a joke about
priests.
Cardinal, and then I went to Cardinal Directions, and I went to Cardinal Bird. I got one more. Wait, what is it? Is it Stanford? Oh yeah, because Stanford, their team is called the Cardinal.
Oh, it got worse.
Did you know that? It doesn't mean a bird. I mean, Stanford is mostly symbolized by trees and the conservative politics of the Hoover Institute, but that's beside the point. They're mainly known for a big tree in Palo Alto, but they're called the Cardinal.
Is that part of the bit, or is that true?
Which part?
Stanford tree. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, not at all. No, I like this better. And I mean, the truth is, I don't have that much to say about the challenge because this is my entire life. It would take me weeks.
Learned pretty quickly.
I even tried 2 directions. I tried the one direction of, because of course I have running lists. I have a list of things Dennis Gephardt used to say that I'm constantly repeating. As you know, I have a list of things my grandmother used to say that I'm constantly repeating. I track all of those things. Do you know that I have an entire huge I sent this to Dickerson one time. I have an entire huge markdown file that I'm so glad that I started making when Billy was little. And every time there was like an especially memorable or imprintable phrase, I would put it on that list.
Yes.
So like I have all of that stuff. And then I thought, well, my inclination is always, this comes up a lot, often enough anyway, on Rec Diffs, which is like, I'm not really interested in the contest. I'm more interested in the rules. Like to say I don't like games. I don't like playing games, but I'm interested in the rules of the game. You know, it's why I like Taskmaster so much. They've never had the same task twice on that show. And they're open to people walking right up to the point of cheating. But if you can find a clever way to beat I love that kind of stuff, right? That's why Survivor, it's one of 6 reasons why Survivor is so tedious to me right now. Whereas I could watch reruns of Taskmaster like all day long. You know what I mean? And so...
Yes, you are the most enthusiastic gamer who doesn't like games.
I used to. People don't care about that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. Yes,
they should care. They should care deeply. What was my point? Was talking about Greg Davis?
That you were excited about the rules.
And then I thought, should we talk about what is it that makes something well, I mean, the truth, it's obvious. It's a combination. I've got it down to novelty, which is also, I was going to say humor, but I kind of want to just put humor in novelty. So humor / novelty / surprise is one part. And
why why surprise?
Do you remember one? This is not funny, but like it gives you the feel. Was it here that I was talking about? Maybe it was with Syracuse. No, somewhere I was talking to somebody about TV commercials for industries or for like the milk board or for cotton. Those kinds of like industry ads that they're still around, but they used to be on PBS all the time as sponsor spots. And there's that thing, I was just mentioning, another funny family thing we've always done, Madden Me, is if we don't know what a commercial is for, we start yelling out what we think it's for. And so we'll be watching a commercial. This is like, say, circa 2002. A commercial comes on. We're sitting on the TiVo. Commercial comes up and it's like, "On the road that America travels." And one person will go, "Home insurance." And the American way, and the other person goes, something like beekeepers or whatever, or like
you do that for pharmaceutical commercials.
Oh my God, what is this for? Yes, exactly,
Boner,
exactly.
Depression, like what are we?
But this is a canonical example, which is, I want Madeline to be both as funny and as smart as she was when she did this, because it sounds like I'm making her sound dim, but actually it was very fucking funny because it was so smart. So we're like, insurance. Diabetes drug, beat. And Madeline goes, metal? And I'm like, could this be an ad for the metal industry? Metal? Like people who manufacture, sell, and market metals. B2B metals. This is a metal. What's it for? Is it metals? And so to this day, of course, when the word metal comes up, someone will just go, metal? But also just when we don't know what something is. When they're like, oh my God, I wonder what time they open. What time? A sports basement, we got to run there and get some new cleats. I wonder what time they open. Somebody go, metal? Now, to me, that's an imprintable phrase.
Yes.
Can I have some of yours? Or however you want to. I'd like to hear some of your...
I've got... here was my... I think most obvious one that people will be like, oh, that makes sense. Referencing a bit a comedian has done. And my two are say eight from Brian Regan, which happens whenever...
Which one is say eight? What's that?
Say eight is when he has someone asks him on a scale of 1 to 10 how much pain are you in? And
right,
as listeners of the show may know, I spend a lot of times in hospitals.
7 or 8 is what you should say.
It's all
because if you say 2, they're going to throw you out on your can.
Yeah,
and if you say 14, they're going to send you back to grammar school.
Yes. 10 is drug seeking. 3 is you're back in the waiting room for 6 hours.
Are they holding up that laminated thing with the faces on it?
I haven't seen it in a while.
How much Mr. Yuck do you feel?
All right, and I also have Merge, Everybody Merge, which is another bit from the hospital thing.
Right. No, you go.
Yeah.
What was the one where he wants to pull off? What was the one where he wants to pull off? The reason his girlfriend or his wife left him is because he wanted to settle an argument and they had to pull off the highway. I forget that one, but
that's not from. Well, the special is I Walked on the Moon, which is the
big yellow one's the sun. Kid comes in with the same science project every year. It's a cup of dirt. He's funny. I saw him live. Madeline got us tickets a few years ago, and we saw him and his very funny brother who opens for him. And
interesting.
He was wonderful. He's such an accomplished comedian. We talked about him so much back in the Max. It was Max, I think, that got me excited about Brian Regan.
Because he is one of those guys that really travels a lot and I don't know if he still does this, but he used to come to a bunch of schools, and he came to actually
colleges.
One of my it was Max's high school, and my
Brian Regan came to his high school.
Yeah, his comedy club.
John Mulaney only got JJ Bittenbinder.
I know, right? Well,
it looks like he should be working on a train that runs on confetti.
He also,
it's right to laugh at the ridiculous name.
But it wasn't to do a show. It was just to talk to them like about comedy and writing.
No! Wow,
yeah.
That must be a pretty cool school. Did your Catholic school do anything like that? By the way, I'm setting you up to do some kind of funny joke here. Alex, when you were a kid and going to Catholic school, what kind of people did they bring in?
Oh.
Maybe did you ever hear Chris Fleming's story of being taken to meet the old nun?
I don't. Yes, I have.
She's like sitting there in the chair with that rictus. She's either completely still and silent or screaming. You got to meet her.
Upsetting. It's so upsetting. Oh God.
Come out and meet the monkey. I got monkey zoned.
All right. So that is a reference to a bit, but it is not something where like we are necessarily trying to be funny.
Just in passing. All these Brian Regan things count.
Usually,
right? Don't these all count?
It doesn't get a laugh even. I mean, they count, but for
it's like you're only saying it so somebody who knows the joke will laugh with you. Like it's like when you say at least it used to be before memes made everything confusing. It was like if you said something like "That's a bold move, Cotton," or if you said, "Well, that escalated quickly," or whatever. It used to be that was a line that was funny to the weirdos that liked Anchorman, which didn't used to be everybody. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I've never seen Dodgeball, but I know that Jason Bateman line just from GIFs. Is that what he says? Those bold move, Cotton, see if it works out, something like that?
Something like
everything
that.
Fred Willard says in every Christopher Guest movie.
But I don't think
Basset Hound, if you came out, with the cap and the pipe, like Sherlock Holmes, would they ever do that?
See, those don't. They don't count though.
I'm misquoting that
because
he actually has catchphrases in my least favorite of those movies, A Mighty Wind. Do you remember where
I've not seen it? No.
Oh, so Fred Willard plays a guy that used to be a child star who's like now in his 50s, and I imagine this came out of improv, if not like improv on camera. But he starts talking about some of the catchphrases that he originated, like. What happened? Or I can't do my work. Everybody says that now. I can't do my work. Sounds kind of like my kid. It's too boring.
Most of the rest of mine aren't comedy bits, which I think is more like I think it's weird and interesting that whenever the word like comes up in our households, both Maddie and I will go, I like you, which is a reference.
Wait, yeah, what is that?
VHS from the horror movie VHS, where spoilers, a lady turns out to be a vampire, and she just keeps
kind of
on
like the crying game.
hitting. Oh no!
Shh! Don't spoil it.
They did a conclave.
You just got Gabriel burned.
Oh.